So hey everyone, welcome to the channel. First off, I want to say thank you very much for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe and that little bell so that you get a notification next time I upload a video. So I just want to start off by saying that I have no affiliation with any of the companies that I will be doing reviews for. I have no endorsements and I'm not sponsored by anyone. So these calls, I purchased them with my own money. And I decided to put some reviews together to help people make an educated decision on what call is going to work best for them. I hope that you like the channel, and let's check out the first call. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the Omnivores Homestead and Quivers Mahogany Grunt Tube. First, the appearance. I like it. I like it a lot. It's real mahogany, hand turned on a lathe by the people that actually own this company. It fits in your hand nice and easy. I really like the grooves and how it's set up. So we're going to talk about the ease of use. So I really like this call, how easy it is to change the tone the tone for whatever you're hunting. So in the short time that I've had this call, I have found that it is easier when you go to change the tone or the pitch. If you give it a little bit of a twist when you pull it apart, it comes apart a lot easier than just like pulling it apart. And the same with going it back or putting it back together. It goes easier if you just give it a little bit of a twist. So each of the reeds comes pre-marked with your settings and your O-rings. So here we have your fawn, we have your young doe, mature doe, young buck, and mature buck. It's pretty simple, standard settings for any call really. And to change it, you just slide the O-ring down. Just slide it down, and you put it back together the way that you took it apart. Like I stated, you give it just a little bit of a twist, and it makes things a lot easier to put it together. All right, so now we're gonna display the sounds that come out of this. So as of right now, I am on the fawn setting, and if you watch my first video, fawn setting is a call that I use a lot in the early season. So I won't get too much further into it, but we'll hear how it sounds. Great sound. Good volume that comes out of it too. You could really throw some volume out of this call with not a lot of breath coming out of you. So that's definitely something that I really do like about it. So the next sound that we're going to be on the young doe. I like this sound as well. It's another call that I will use early season. Once again, the volume. The volume is great. You could really project it out there. But also, if you wanted to, you could make it pretty quiet too. You know, if you have a deer that's 60 yards away from you, that's through some thick timber, that you know that they're not going to see you or be able to pinpoint you when you're calling, this is a great sound and great volume. So now we'll move on down to the mature doe. And once again, just a simple little twist when you put it back together makes everything nice and simple. Good sound. Even with like an ester spleet, like it's good. I really like it. Next thing we'll move up to is just a young buck. Now, when I call for young buck, or when I have a call on a setting for a young buck, I'll normally mainly stick to tending grunts. Just because, you know, if there's a bigger, higher age class deer in that area, if they hear a young buck doing some tending grunts, they're probably going to be more susceptible to actually coming in and checking it out. Hey, that sounds like a young buck. He's in my core area. He's in my territory messing with my does. Let's go check it out. So let's hear what that sounds like. Good sound. There's no reed click on this setting. That's another thing that you will hear me mention a lot in any of my videos is reed click. For those of you that don't know, reed click is where you can actually hear the reed when you're making the call or when you're forcing air through the call. You can hear the reed slapping up and down. You don't get that with this call, which it's great. It's hard to come across a good quality, loud call or a call that can put out some sound that can travel some distance to where you don't have that reed click. So. It's great. So let's check out the mature buck. Great. So I will place a link in the description as to where to buy this. It's fairly cheap on the spectrum of good quality calls, in my opinion, and they're all handmade. They're handmade by two people who live down in the southern part of the United States. Everything is handmade. They also really? Apparently my calls have angered a wasp. So I apologize about that. I do these videos in my shed, and occasionally some bees or a wasp or a hornet does get in there, and I was wrong. It's not a wasp, it's a hornet. It's just a mud dauber though, non-aggressive, so I'm not too stressed out about it. But my door's open, so you'll hear the crickets a lot more right now. So yeah. Anytime that you buy one of these, it does come inscribed with their little logo. You may not be able to see it very good, but their logo will also be the thumbnail of this video. So, the pros. It's comfortable to hold in your hand. It's, like I stated, it's hand turned on a lathe. I feel like every time that they do make one of these calls, they probably take it off, or at least stop the lathe and hold it in their hand just to try to see what it feels like, make sure that it's comfortable for anyone. It also comes with a lanyard. So in my last video, I did describe how I took the lanyard off because I normally when I'm hunting, or always when I'm hunting, I have a belly bag. And as soon as a call has served its purpose, it goes right back in my belly bag. I don't leave it out, don't even tie it to my stand and let it hang. So the lanyard won't get much use with me, but still it is nice for those people that do use their lanyards and wear their calls around their neck. And also the accordion style tube. I love accordion style tubes. They're, in my opinion, they're much easier for directional calling. And I feel like I can just muffle the sound or manipulate the sound that comes out of an accordion tube much easier than I can from a hard tube call. The only error, or the only con that I have with this call, and really you could all boil it down to a user error. If you noticed earlier, when I would put the call back together, I would always look down into it. And it's another thing that I found out with when you twist the call and you put it back together, this doesn't tend to happen. But every once in a while, when I first got the call, I was just pushing it back together. I didn't twist it at all, and just learning the call, figuring out how it sounds. Do I really like this call or not? Well, the final decision is yes, I do really, really like this call. But yeah, every once in a while the reed would get in there, kind of twist it a little bit, and it would be resting up against the inside of the wood here, and it would distort the tone. It wasn't a good sound that came out. But once again, I'm gonna narrow that down to a user error, because I was just putting it in there. I was just putting the call or the reed back into the mouthpiece and not really paying much attention to what I was doing. Ever since I started twisting it as I put it in, I didn't have that issue reoccur. I couldn't duplicate that error again. I'm sure that if I really, really tried, you could, or anyone could, but that's the only con I have about this call. Other than that, this call's great. It's going to be in my pack with me, along with one or two other calls when I hit the woods this season, which is coming up in about a month. So I'm pretty excited about that. But once again, guys, thanks for checking out the channel. Give it a thumbs up, Also hit that subscribe button so that you get the notifications next time I upload a video. I'm going to try to upload videos probably once or twice, or one every 2 weeks. Sometimes it'll be a little bit shorter than that, depending on how quick I can get new calls or how often a friend lets me borrow one of their calls. Once again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.